This is Jonathan from Rupert Neve Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to set up and use your Newton channel. The Newton is a Class A channel strip consisting of a mic preamp, EQ, compressor, and silk saturation circuit. It can do a lot, whether it's on its own or paired with a second unit for stereo operation. You will need several cables to use all the features of the Newton. A high-quality, balanced, shielded XLR microphone cable for the mic line preamp, and another one or two balanced XLR cables for the two outputs. Plug the female XLR end of your microphone cable into your microphone or DI, and the male XLR end into the input on the back of the Newton. Plug a balanced XLR into the Newton main out, and as an option, plug another balanced XLR into the -6 output. Connect these to the A to D converter, interface, or console line input you are using and turn the Newton power on. You should now see the green power LED on the far right side light up on the front panel. If your mic or DI requires phantom power, such as a condenser mic, an active ribbon, or an active DI, connect the mic or DI and then press the 48-volt phantom power switch. If you're using a dynamic, a passive ribbon, a passive DI, or a condenser mic with its own power supply, then you won't need to do this. When engaging the phantom power, be sure to mute the feed to your speakers or headphones to avoid sending a pop to them. Let's start by connecting a mic and setting the gain on the Newton. Then we'll come back to add EQ and compression as desired. First, turn the red gain knob up about halfway and see where your level is showing on the meter. Shoot for a level of around +4 to +8 dBu with sustained performances. Test a fairly loud portion of your source, and if your destination has peak metering available, make sure that the loudest peaks aren't close to clipping those converters. Use the white trim knob to more accurately fine-tune the level by ±6 dB. Louder sources or condenser microphones will require less gain than dynamic mics or passive ribbons. It's okay to have an occasional flash of the red level LED on the meter, which lights up at +22 dBu, but it's good practice to avoid clipping frequently. If you're experiencing phase incoherency in situations with more than one microphone, engage the polarity switch. This inverts the polarity of the incoming signal. Usually, the polarity setting that maintains the greatest amount of low frequencies is the correct setting. The high-pass filter is designed to remove unwanted low frequencies from your source. Engage the high-pass filter switch and sweep it up to anywhere between 20 Hz and 250 Hz as needed. It is very helpful for treating low frequencies such as boominess from an acoustic guitar, room rumble, reducing low frequencies in cymbal mics, plosives and proximity from vocal mics, and can also be useful to control mud from any source. On the equalizer section, start with the cut and boost controls at 0 and engage the EQ in switch. On the mid-band, try turning the gain up about 6 dB and sweeping the mid-frequency to find the frequency range that you want to target, then adjust the amount of cut or boost to taste. On the high frequency and low frequency bands, again boost by about 6 dB and listen to the difference between the two frequency selections. 60 Hz and 150 Hz on the low frequency band, and 8 kHz or 16 kHz on the high frequency band. Then choose the desired amount of EQ. Moving on to the compressor section, we recommend starting with the threshold all the way up and the release knob at noon. Then engage the compressor in switch to turn on the compressor. Slowly bring the threshold down until you see 2 to 4 dB of compression on the gain reduction meter. Use the red makeup gain knob to set the compressor's output to provide equal level when turning the compressor on and off. It can also be used to send an appropriate level to the next piece of gear in your chain, often your interface. You can choose to place the compressor before the equalizer by engaging the pre-EQ switch. This allows you to equalize the sound of the compressed signal, or use the compressor post-EQ, which may control the overall level better. This is usually program or source dependent and may require some experimentation. The variable silk circuit is a unique feature that provides vintage vibe and character and control over transformer harmonics. Silk Red allows you to saturate the output transformer to produce more upper mid-range and high-frequency harmonics. And Silk Blue adds big, warm, low-frequency harmonics for a larger-than-life tone. Adjust the amount of silk via the texture knob. The harder you push into the output stage of your Newton, the more apparent or exaggerated this effect will be. Since the silk circuit and added harmonics are in the transformer, they may increase the output level. This is normal, and final level should be double-checked and can be adjusted via the compressor makeup gain knob. There are two outputs on the Newton channel. The first is a plus 24 dBu XLR output for feeding other gear that can handle true professional levels of plus 24 dBu. The second, negative 6 dB output, is for connecting to interfaces and other gear that can handle up to plus 20 dBu. This allows you to drive the Newton channel fully into classic transformer saturation without clipping the input of the next device in your signal chain. You can also use the two outputs creatively. Connect both at the same time and drive a compressor harder, or print both to your DAW and have a safety mix with a lower or higher level. The Newton input can also be used with line sources, for example as a DAW hardware insert or on analog buses. For line sources, set the Newton's front panel gain to 0 dB. Fine level control is available via the trim knob, plus or minus 6 dB. To stereo link the compressor sections of two Newton channels, connect one short 1/4-inch high-quality shielded stereo TRS cable between the link jacks on each unit. This will sum the compression sidechain control voltage of the two units, providing equal amounts of compression on both units. Keep in mind, you still need to set all the controls on both units to the same settings. If you are experiencing any hum, you can try the rear panel ground lift switch. We do not suggest using external AC ground lifts or 3 to 2 pin cheater plugs ever. If the ground lift switch makes no difference, then leave it grounded and explore other options like isolating the noisy gear. When you've fully dialed in your Newton, try toggling the EQ in and compression in switches to AB the sound. Don't be afraid to experiment with more extreme or lighter settings, as these can often lead to surprising results. You can learn more about all our gear at rupertneve.com, and please feel free to contact us with any questions. Enjoy your Newton channel and happy recording!